Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir, sponsor Luinish Basar B'Yak Shalom and Leah Basitzchok. We're holding in the Metzia in Daf Pegimel. Daf Pedalet. We're holding the Metzia Daf Pedalet. This is continuing the Agatis, the Daf of Agatis. On one hand, it's easy because the Agatis is stories. On the other hand, to understand if your Agata has diffs, oimik the female oimik.
What's that say from the God?
Depends which.
What's say from all the God? What's real? What's not real? What's
Right? Give me a yeah. Look at it. Zog the Gemara. Zog the Eilik Gemara in the Apidal Mudaf. We're in the top. Said the Gemara. Ki Abu Mikli, Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yesi, Rabbi Lozer, Rabbi Shir, Rabbi Adadi. When Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yesi, Rabbi Lozer, Rabbi Shimon would meet each other, we just mentioned these two people because the Melech forced them to become catch the thieves. Both cases, they were both extremely fat, very very fat, to the extent that the Gemara is focusing on the fact that they are fat. So it says, well, when they came and they were together, and you made them face each other, you would put an animal, a bucker, a calf, go between them, cow between them, and it didn't touch them because they were so fat, they went underneath their stomach and didn't touch their body. Your children are not yours. Because how can you do be'ilo? Amulo shalehem godol mishalonu. What is shalehem godol mishalonu? Rashi brings two pshatim. Either shalehem godol mishalonu. The pshat is that their aver is greater than ours. Now the chor doesn't make any sense because we're talking about the fact that they're too fat, or that their taiva is greater than ours. Says the Gemara, kol sheken. According to the first pshat, very understood what the kol sheken is. Because according to the second one, it's a little hard to understand. But what do you mean? How can you have beilo in the fact that they're bigger? According to the first shot is that they're fatter. Some say that he said that the same way they're so fat, also their aver was very big. The love makes all obstacles go away. So why do you have to answer this question? Say, what are you even answering here? Now what does it mean? Ava means that they're able to push it through the fat. But some of the first should bring, what's the Nikud over here? What are you trying to point out? So one way, brought down, I believe it Toras Chaim brings it. Toras Chaim, the pshat is, I wanted to say that they had a big Yetzer Hara, and they were able to overcome the Yetzer Hara. That's the pshat. They were tzaddikim and Amoraim, the Gdolei Amoraim, even though they had this Yetzer Hara. Okay, still needs beer. And now the Gemara is going to bring very, very much not understood what the Gemara is trying to tell us over here. This, based on what we just said, this could be part of the idea. The size of the Aver of Shmuel Yesi, kechemes batisha kavim. Size of the chemes, 9 kav chemes, like a barrel, like a pitcher. Another size, smaller. There, Papa Gufe, Papa himself, Kikure Darfanyo. Talking about that his Kure Darfanyo is like little baskets to make an Darfanyo. So someone should point out that we're talking about here that every generation is less than the other. We're not looking at the actual Aver. We're talking about the koyach of our Batsa Stoyer, the koyach of Ribui that each one can have. The higher the generation, so then they have more to be mashpia out. And that's what we're referring to. It still needs beer. Why the Gemara decides to speak in such a lashon? What's the point? Okay. Ane shtayim mishipir Yerushalayim. I was left over from the beautiful people of Yerushalayim. Someone wants to know how beautiful Rabbi Yochanan looked like. And as the Gemara can tell us, the beauty of Rabbi Yochanan means that there were sparks coming out of him. You want to see the type of sparks coming out of Rabbi Yochanan? Naisi kasa de kaspo. You should bring a cup of silver. Mi bei salke. Right when it comes out of the fire, right when it's being done. Fene malye partidio de romno. You should fill it up with the seeds of pomegranate. The romno is so called of the red pomegranate. Fene adule klilu devar de sumko. And put around it the verid, the rose, which is a red rose, the pume. Then between the sun and the shade. The sparks that come out of it, that's a birch. Mean what? Talking about over here that you have all kinds of things that bring the sparks. It just came out of the fire. You have between the sun and the shade. You have the red rose. You have all these things add to the spark. When you put all that together, that's the sparks that came out of Rabbi Yochanan's face. So if Kahana's beauty was like a Bavo. Shuvah Bavo meant Shuvah Yaakov Avinu. Bavo was like a Avinu. Shuvah Yaakov Avinu meant Shuvah Adam Marisha. So you spoke about the four most beautiful, gorgeous, or sparkly people that you have in the world. We mentioned these four. We never mentioned Rabbi Yochanan on the list. Why is Rabbi Yochanan omitted if you're saying Rabbi Yochanan had such sparks? It says the Gemara, Shani Rabbi Yochanan had the sponim lo yavilei. He didn't have a beard. Rashi says he didn't have a beard. And because he didn't have a beard, so therefore he was not roi, he's not putting it into the list of people that had beauty coming out of face because they're missing the beard. Here the first would be a raya. Rabbi Yochanan was a dayan, that a dayan doesn't have to have a beard. Right? He didn't have a beard. Interesting duke from here. Pashtas didn't grow. So that's why he's now one of the more sparkly people. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan. Now the Gemara brings the story. This is the famous story of Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish. This is how Rish Lakish became in Amorim. So look at the Gemara, the following. Before that, I skip. We're going to get to Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish in a moment. Before that, we continue with Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan used to go and sit in the openings of the mikvah, the woman mikvah. As they came out from tefillah, they'll see me. They'll see me. They'll have beautiful children like me. Says the Gemara, Gemira Raisa Kavasi. They don't tell you like me. What about Ayin Hara? I come from I'm a descendant of Yosef Tzaddik. Till I shout to Ayin Abisha. Ayin Hara doesn't control. Tachtiv ben Puras. Yosef ben Purat Alei Ayin. So Alei Ayin Yadash Shelomar Vo Al Tikri Alei Ayin Elo Oyelei Ayin. It goes over the eye. There's no Ayin Hara. That's what it is. The Gemara brings another drush. Be careful. It's the children of, we said about Ephraim and Menashe. Yidgul Laroi, be careful. That's the Malach Gori Losi. What's Yidgul Laroi? Like fish. Ma dogi shebayam ma michasim oisom. The fish is covered by the sea. The ein ayin shodas bayam, and the eye can't. It can visualize that. Azar sheyoysev and ayin shodas bayam. There's no ayin hor. Now. Here, first of all, Tais asks over here the issue of what about, Tais mentions, what about the fact that if a woman goes and sees somebody right after she goes to the mikvah, it's a problem. Or if someone sees right moving to the mikvah, so he catches real znunim, automatically it's her controls him. So Tais says maybe when she's not dressed properly, or that he's not that he was a bimikri. He was sitting down there the whole time. He was sitting down there to be that image. And as the function points out, we see by Yaakov Avinu, how did he make the animals look a certain way? Because they saw things went around the Tashmish time. So that's why the woman coming out of the mikvah sees a Rabbi Yochanan, that would bring the beauty of Rabbi Yochanan. Says the Gemara, one day Rabbi Yochanan was bathing in the Jordan River. Rish Lakish saw him, and he saw that unbelievable, beautiful image, the Pashtas Mashma from the Gemara later, that he thought it was a woman. So he saw this gorgeous, beautiful person. He jumps into the water, big jump. He says he jumped such a big jump. He says, wow, You're so strong. You should use the strength for Torah. Omalei, so says Rish Lakish Rabbi Yechanan. Rabbi Lakish, what was Rish Lakish at that time? As Rashi points out, he was the headmaster thief. He was the head thief. He was the listing. He was the biggest gangster. That's what he was. So Omalei, Shuvach Lanashi. Rabbi Lakish tells Rabbi Yechanan, your beauty is the beauty of a woman. So beautiful you are. If you'll do tshuva, Tosfos points out over here that Rish Lakish was not always a thief. He started by learning Torah, and then he went off the derech. Rabbi Yechanan is bringing him back. Right? So Rish Lakish is the first kids in risk. Pasha's like, this is the Gemara. He went out, he came back.
Maybe Rabbi Kiva.
Rabbi Kiva never started. You have to look at that. He did start? Yeah. Say, but here, talk about someone who's learned Torah and he went out. Okay? So he says, if you go back, you do tshuva, I'll give you my sister who's more beautiful than me. So Rav Shlokish says, okay, I will accept it. He wanted to jump out of the river. He was so strong. He wanted to jump out of the river to go get his clothes. He wasn't able to go back. Why? So Rashi says, because he's mikabel on himself old Torah. Once he was mikabel on himself old Torah, Rashi says, old Torah, toshash koicha. Once he accepted himself old Torah, he lost his power. So part of the shot is that when you have old Torah, you don't have the physical power. It's either or, with spiritual power or physical power. So once he accepted himself the spiritual power, he removed the physical power. But I saw one of the first show that Yaakov points it out. Said Pshat is like this: strength, power has to come from the mindset. When a person's mindset is that's what I'm doing, I'm a strong man, so then he jumps up and down. Right now, Rish Lakish changed his mindset. I'm not a gangster. I'm a Talmid Chacham. Talmid Chacham doesn't, the power of the body. He doesn't really know how to use it. Change his mindset. Says the Gemara, so what he did was, he went and he taught him Chumash, taught him Mishnah, and he made him a Gavar Abba. Rish Lakish became Rish Lakish. One day they were arguing, Rish Lakish were arguing, they're learning. What are they arguing about? Hasaif, which is a sword, a sword, a sakin, a knife, a piga, another type of sword, a small sword. Ve'aroimach, I translate roimach is like a big knife. It's a spear. Umagal yadu ma'akatsu, which is the two types of that they cut the tool with it. What's it called? A sickle. Two types of sickles. Me'mosai mekabling tumo. What time do they get? When do they get tumo? So Mishat's going once it's finished, it's a full kli. It gets tumo. Like always, whenever a vessel is done, it gets tumo. When is it finished? Once he puts it into the fire. It's not enough to put in the fire, you have to put it in the water, and that's when it's finished.
Once you burn, make it very hot, and finish it by putting it in the water.
Yes. So he says, you were a thief, and you know about swords, how you make swords. So he tells the Shlokish Rabbi Yechanan, what exactly did you help me? It seems like they were a little chippering each other. Also, Rabbi Kurli, he used to call me Rabbi, and Rabbi also now. I used to be Rabbi. So the push-up shot is I used to be Rabbi as a listing. I was the headmaster of the thief. And now I'm one of the Rav, it wasn't that a big difference. Meaning he was a chippering of Rabbi Yechanan, didn't really give him too much. According to the Tosfos, he says, I used to be a Rabbi before I went off the derech. So you didn't really benefit from me. I was there before. I just decided on my own. What do you mean? I made you close to Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's what I did. Rabbi Yechanan wasn't happy. He did not like the way that this dialogue with Rish Lakish. So Rish Lakish became sick, became ill. Because Rabbi Yechanan, the Gadol Ador, when he is upset on somebody, he makes him sick. Makes it also so comes the sister of Rabbi Yechanan, who's the wife of Rish Lakish, right? Because he married the sister. Kabach, he started crying to him. Omeleh said, "We should be do or we should do for my and for the kids." Omeleh azva yisoymech ani echye. Don't worry about the yisoymim. I will take care of it. It means a pasuk. It's a pasuk in Yirmiyah. I said, "Bishul amunasi." But what about the fact that I'm going to be a widow? You will rely on me, I'll take care of you. Says the Gemara, so it was nifter. So this is a very big taboo Gemara. What was going on here? The sister comes and begs him, please, I want you to daven for my brother. And he says, no, how could that be? So to Maharal, this conversation never happened. There's never a conversation this way. And then Maharal goes to throughout many of the Agatas of Shas, that you don't take it literally. We're taking here it's a conceptual idea. Meaning, the Gemara here is putting into play, this is the what Rabbi Yochanan should have considered. Not that the sister came and asked for it. The sister never came in front of Rabbi Yochanan. But Rabbi Yochanan, like in his mind, or even maybe call it the subconscious of Rabbi Yochanan, he felt he wasn't happy with Shlokish. He didn't what he did. And his mind was, it's Nishka Fel. Shlokish will be nifter. Not that he's going to cause him to die. But Shlokish will be nifter. He will be al money. I'll take care of him. And if you think like there's a little bit of maybe even according to Maharal, maybe the time of Rabbi Yochanan is you should have thought about really what your sister's feeling. But not that the sister actually came in front of Rabbi Yochanan. So Rabbi Shlokish was nifter. Rabbi Yochanan was very upset. How are we going to calm down Rabbi Yochanan? He's very sharp. He's going to learn with Rabbi Yochanan and make Rabbi Yochanan happy. Also Yosef Kameh. So he said further, anytime that Rabbi Yochanan said something, he says, I'll bring a brisa that proves your point. Omar, at Kevar Lekesha, you coming to replace your sluggish? When I said something, have him actually is streaming the Arab Kushiyasa. For everything I said, he asked me 24 questions. And I answered 24 answers. And through the debate, the dialogue that we had, we were able to come and learn and go into the sugya and enlarge the sugya. And you come to use some of your heart, you have a brisa for you, we have no debate anymore. Do I need you to tell me to give me a haskama? I need approval. I need approval. I want someone to debate with me, to come and ask questions. How because the Korimani, so he went out and he tore his clothing. Kaboch and he cried, "Oh my Echad Barlakesh, Shlokish, where are you? I want you to come and learn with me." He was screaming until he went crazy. He wasn't himself. Davened for him, and he was nifter because they felt he didn't have any place anymore here in the world. So going back to the story that we had in the previous daf, Reb Shimon, we learned that Reb Shimon, he was the one who was catching the thieves. He was catching the thieves, and they told him that he did right, even though he killed someone they thought he was innocent, so he wasn't innocent, and they gave him the test with his fat, and that's what happened. He wasn't still happy with that. So he wasn't still he accepted on himself Yisurim, suffering. In the evening they put under him 16 sheets. Then they took out of him, even though he was covered with 60 sheets, 16 buckets of blood and pus that came out of him. The next day, his wife did for him 16 different types of food, and he became healthy. So she didn't let him go out to Bismedish. She don't know why she didn't let him go to Bismedish, but she felt that he's going to suffer too much. She wouldn't go to Bismedish. So Rabbanan won't go and bother. In the evening he said, he told the Yisurim, please come. In the morning he says, please leave me. I need to go learn, and you're going to suffer, not going to learn. One day his wife heard him saying, come. You're bringing this servant on you? You're causing us to lose all the money that I got from my father. I'm spending that on medicine and healing you. And you're bringing it yourself. Imrada, she rebelled. She went to the father's house, she left him. Solik came the 60 sailormen. They brought him 60 slaves. Why? Rashi brings, he also mentions it, that they were about to drown, and they daven eloko their blozer of Shimon Aneni. And they were saved. They said, okay, we'll bring you 60 slaves. They gave the 60 slaves with 60 wallets. They made the 60 types of food. One day his wife that left him, she said, wanted to see what's going on with him. She said, go check with your has to tell the daughter, Zili Boki Babu, go check your father. What is he doing right now? How is he getting along? She went she told, so when the daughter came to the father, told, go tell your mother, what we have, meaning the money that I got on my own without my shrer, is greater than what we always have. The food of a Krishbul is coming from far. He ate and drank, he came healthy, came to be smashed. He brought him 60 types of blood of a woman, Tarinu, and he said to all of them, so Rabbanan were questioning, right? Really everything is start. It's on one of them which is doubtful. If I'm right, all the children that are born from these women, they should all be male. If not, one female should be there. They all were males, and they all were called Elazar under his name. So they said, look how much fear of evil this Rishah is tabi. So who's Rishah? Either means the Malchus of Rishah causing to catch thieves, or it means the wife. Some people don't like to answer wife to call her Rishah, as we'll see in a moment. But what was the Rishah? The Rishah was that, look what happened. He came one day and he was Matai 60 women. It would be early, he was Matai much more. When he was nifter from the world, he told his wife, I know the Rabbanon were angry at me because he caught the thieves. Let me ask you, Bishop, they're not gonna give me a proper levaya. Put me in the aliyah, in the attic, and don't be afraid. The mother of Yenison, the wife of Elazar told him, not less than 18, and not more than 22. Interesting. Like between 18 to 22 years, the body of Elazar Shimon was in his roof. We saw his hair did not change. They would check the hair, and they would when they took out one hair from the head, blood used to come out. In other words, the body was still functioning. One day they saw a worm coming out of his ear. They got scared. Why? Because maybe that means now he's starting to be wormy. Maybe now he's gonna rot. They came in the dream. Nothing happened. Don't worry. The only reason the worm came in my ear. One day I heard zilzul in the Tamechacham. I did not do a mecha as I supposed to. Two people came to face the Avukaimi. They were in the door. One said one thing, one said another. In other words, two people came they wanted to do a B'din Torah. They used to go to his house, and the body's there. Each one would come in, one would say, this is the story, my story, this is my story. Nothing called him. Yelisa came out a voice from the rooftop, so Moshe may ask, so he say, didn't Mominus. They agreed to do it based on this, whatever he says. One day, the wife was fighting with the neighbor. So she'll be, she said, you know what? You be like your husband, like was never married. That's not their case. mean, if people already know the fact that he's buried, that he's there in the roof, that's not the right way. Shimon Yochai came in a dream. Shimon Yochai, almost like in a few days. Only prayed to I have my son between you. If you don't want to bring it to me. In other words, I want to be buried. They wanted to go and bury him. They didn't allow the people of that city who were called Bnei Achbarayim. They called Shoni Davinayim blows of Shim Elias as long as he's sleeping, or called sleeping in his attic. There was never a bad animal coming to the city because of the blows of Shim. One day was Yom Kippur. 3 days they were busy getting ready for Yom Kippur. Showed the Rabbanon Lebnei Biri, that's cool. They called me Biri, and they brought the bed. They brought it to the cave, to the cave of Yeshiva Bayechei. They saw the big snake that was surrounding the cave. Actually, he put his tail into his mouth. He opened the door, opened up, and allowed the son to come to his father. You opened up. We'll see later in the next half that was not so simple to open up the achnoi. So Rabbi said, I want to marry the wife of Elazar Shimon. That's what he told Rabbi. Rabbi HaKodesh says, I was married to Elazar Shimon. You're a lower level of Elazar Shimon. I'm not going to marry you. Talmud Amri, they say over there, the told his Zaini, the place where the owner of the house, the chasher person, puts his weapon, Kul Barayo, this very low level shepherd, Kul Tetol is going to put his basket, meaning it's not proper that you saw a lower person put with a chasher person. Sholach Los, he answered back, I agree, he's much greater than me in Torah. I would be Maisi Tovim, you go to many. Maisi Tovim, is he greater than me? The fact he's greater in Torah, I don't know. Because I never tested. But when Ma'asim Yadono, Ma'asim I do know. That Kabil Alei Yisuri. You accepted as a Yisuri on himself. That's the look how great, look how big tzaddik he was. So go with Torah Ma'i, what's exactly the discussion Torah? Chavi Yasser Moshe Gamliel Yeshua Ben Korcha Asavsali, when Yeshua and Levi Ben Gamliel Yeshua Ben Korcha, the Rabbanim were sitting on the benches. Yosef Kamai, Rabbi Lozer, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Aaron. They're both sitting on the ground. They were asking questions and answering. They said, Rabbi and Lozer, Shimon, we're not going to leave you on the ground. So they put him on the bench too. Who was the father of Rabbi? He says, I have by you one prayed or one it's one grape. Actually, you want to take it away from me? In other words, because it's going to get. I know. Our Rashi says that so he says, "Shalot tishlot b'ayin hara." I don't want people to look at him and say, "Oh, he's sitting on a bench." So achtino the Rebbe. So you put him down. Says because if Elazar was Shimon, the son of Yeshua Bayechai, his father wasn't there anymore. Says Shimon Gamliel said, I want my son to go down. Now he says, what about the Elazar Shimon? His father's not here. So they put the Elazar Shimon also down. In other words, when they were sitting in the beginning on the same place, that's when they started. Then they brought him out to the bench. When they put him down, he said, now that I was up and he's down, like it's putting him as if I'm the same level of Rebbe. How dare until that day, and this is also again a difficult one to understand, what's the pshat, in these Gemaras, when you have a discussion, it seems like it's not at the level of the Tanoi. But when Rebbe said something, Elazar gave a right. When Rebbe said, I have what to say, I know what you have to say. So I'll answer back. You're just saying Narishket. Because Elazar Shimon wasn't very happy with the fact that they treated him at the same level. And again, he didn't understand what's shot on this. Chodesh died to the Rebbe. So Rebbe got a little upset. Because his father, don't Don't get upset. She'ari ben Ari, who Ari ben Ari? He is a Blazer Shimon, is a Blazer son of Shabai Chai. He's a lion, and his father's a lion. Tato Ari ben Shul, you Rebbe or Ari, but your father, speaking of himself, is a Shul. There's three people that are real anovim. Heilim, Abel, which is the father. He said, "I'm a Shul, I'm a fox," in comparison to Rav Shabai Chai. Ubnei Biseira, which allowed Hillel Azakin to become their leader. Ve'yonisam and Shaul allowed David HaMelech to be the king. So the Gemara goes and explains that he said, I'm like a Shul. Rebnei Biseira do Amar Shibu Baroi Shubnu LaNasi Alei, and they made Hillel Azakin the Nasi. Yonisam and Shaul, the Karmel David Yatatim Loichel Shaul, you'll be the king. I'll be your viceroy. Who said that's not a good right? He saw the people going after Lamech. He was just a very smart politician. He didn't want to take over the kingdom when he knows everybody's going after David. They saw Hillel was greater. Of course, they made Hillel knows. They didn't know what to answer. He knew what to answer. Shimon Gamliel, that's Vadai. The fact that he called himself the Shul in comparison to Shabai Chai. It shows that Amrason. With this we end this story. Again, very big Gemara, so I understand the Haimek of every one of these stories. And we'll stop over here with what we learned.